Hello there, just left the Emirates. Arsenal 5, Leeds United 0. Started off a bit ropey for the lads, but yeah, it all come together in the end. We got Gyökeres's goal and his penalty, so 2 goals, absolutely fantastic. Yeah, it was great to see. Obviously, Leeds not going to be the greatest of sides we're going to play this year, but you've got to finish the teams in front of you. Great play from 2 goals from Timber. Saka, obviously, Odegaard and Saka got a bit ill, bits injuries and stuff. So hopefully, fingers crossed that they're going to be okay. But yeah, great victory for the lads, and I'll catch you all on the next video. But yeah, come on, you Gunners, 5-0.
Good evening. Welcome to another session of the Gooner Booth. We're going to be talking the Arsenal Leeds game. 5-0. What a result. It was needed. There's a lot of talking points. Wayne, you was at the game. Obviously, we got your opinion at the start of the podcast. Has it changed? And have you had more thoughts about the game?
Yeah. Good evening, firstly, Tone. Bit knackered, throat's a bit sore. When you're singing the Victor Gyökeres song and Maxi Dowman song, it was there's some good things to enjoy, matey. At the game itself, to go through before we start my opinion, obviously, so I'll go for the positive stuff, which is obviously Gyökeres opening his account, getting his goal, his customary penalty. He puts them away all the time. You know what's going to happen.
Great penalty.
Timber was fantastic at right back. Done wonders for my FPL. He's a legend in my book. Put me up the table. 2 goals and an assist. Great goal by Saka. But it's been underpinned. I would also, before I forget, obviously Max Dowman. I mean, brilliant. Come up, 15-year-old kid. I mean, he keeps like that. The sky's the limit for the boy. But yeah, we've Odegaard and Saka and the injuries. In my little video outside the stadium, I don't know why I said ill. I was in a bit of a rush and out of breath, but I didn't mean injury, guys. I apologise. But yeah, it was a sour note on what was otherwise, an enjoyable game. I know you're going to allude to it, and I will obviously state as well. Obviously, you watching it at home, I was watching it at the stadium. For the first 30 minutes, obviously, I tried to catch the. I was just in the Concord having the Asahi beer because it's buy 2 before you.
Well, they've changed the brand now, haven't they? They've made another new
Japanese beer.
Brand new beer.
So I thought, I need a quick wee before we start, and I thought they said about 20 past 5 to get in the stadium. I just caught Eberechieze coming out, getting announced in front of the stadium. Had a great reception. Obviously, we waxed lyrical anyway. I mean, so I think it's a great signing.
Yeah.
But what I allude to that as well, we had it's fantastic to get him over the line. First half hour, 35 before Timber's goal. I think a lot of Arsenal fans were hoping he'd be able to strip off of his clothes and come on the bench, mate. And come off. But yeah, I know you're going to allude to that more, so I will let you. I mean, personally, on watching it, there was something, you're like, this is frustrating. Leeds United, other than having a one, I can only remember one thing I note, and David Raya tipping the ball over the bar. With Arsenal, it's total control all the time. But yeah, it was one of them. It's a little bit, until the boys opened up. It's some aspects of the play. And further on as well, which I want to let you have your piece now, matey. I'll allude to it a bit later on in terms of later on in the game. But yeah, it's a good result. A few things obviously still need working out, in my opinion. But yeah, I'm going to pass over to you, mate, with your opinion from obviously where you was watching it, and let you have your say, mate.
Yeah. Also, I didn't go to the game. I watched it on Sky, so yeah, I'll probably see a few things that you may have missed. I think you sit behind the goal, wasn't you? So
yeah, North Bank, yeah.
The first 40 minutes worried me in the sense that we scored from a set piece, but before we scored that set piece, it didn't look like we was going to score. We didn't have a shot on target.
Yeah.
We was moving the ball really slowly. The passage of play was, it's. Leeds just sat in. I knew they was going to do it. Even though the manager come out and said, we're not going to be scared. We're going to play our game. They didn't. They sat in, and it was come and break us down. And we didn't have any answers.
Yeah.
And I was actually getting really frustrated. The set
Mm.
piece went in, and you're still thinking, okay, well, it's another set piece. And my worry is if that set piece doesn't go in, it's a completely different game because they almost nicked a goal. The game could have gone in a completely different direction. No, 5
Yeah.
nil. Great result, but it sort of papers over some cracks for me. I don't want to sound negative, but I'm probably gonna. But we we weren't that great, and my worry is, um, we should be dispatching Leeds, right? And but my worry is if we're going to go to Anfield, right? And it's going to be a completely different game. We moved the ball too slowly. In that first 40 minutes, we didn't do a lot. Um, you know, but listening to other Arsenal supporters, everyone's buzzing. 5-0. Max Down, was good by the way. He come on for a 15-year-old to come on and play.
Mm.
He was up against a grown man, right? An established defender, right? And had him on toast. Put the
Yeah.
burners on. He didn't know what to do. Won the penalty. Fair play. It was his Premier League debut. Um, Gyökeres come alive, but again, he weren't getting no service. The first 40 minutes,
Mm.
I don't think he hardly touched the ball. You know,
Yeah.
um, so it was the same old stuff really. We always down the right hand channel, back across. Madueke had a decent game as well. He was trying to make things happen, but it was the same stuff. It was going down the wings, crossing it in, and it was Leeds Leeds were quite comfortable. 40 minutes, Leeds were like, we're quite comfortable here.
Mm.
It took a set piece, brilliant header by Timber by the way, really good finish.
Mm.
Took a set piece to break them down, and what I don't want to do, I don't want us to rely on set pieces.
Yeah.
Open play was worrying. The only reason, and I think obviously they opened up because they had to. They had to. They're 1-0 down. They've got to come out and
Yeah.
you know try and break us. That try and get something out of the game. In the end, it was damage control for them.
Yeah.
Because we nicked the second goal. Good finish by Saka. Um, and it also the game opened up. My worry is in the future we're going to be playing these teams at home. They're going to be doing low block. What if we don't score from a set piece? You know,
Mm.
my you know my worry. That's my worry. Right from
Yeah.
today, that the first 40 minutes that it was slow. We looked really sluggish. To be fair,
Mm.
we had no answers for them. But we opened up. When they opened up, obviously any team that opens up for us, we're going to ruin. Right, that's
Yeah.
how. But it's that initial breakdown. So, I'm happy. I don't seem I'm happy, but I am happy with 5-0. Good result. Your career's on the score sheet, which I think's one of the most important things of today. Is
Mm.
your career's on the score sheet. Um, a bit worrying. I think Odegaard will be back. I think his shoulder. He took a knock on the shoulder where he fell.
Mm.
So it's going to be 50-50 whether he can recover for Anfield. But I think Saka's a worry. The way he looked at the
Mm.
physio when he went down, that looked like a hamstring, but it wasn't even the one he'd done before. It was the other one. So
Yeah.
um, that is going to be gutting if we lose him this early.
Yeah.
Um, but one thing that I will say compared to last season, we have a really good squad now. We have got
Yeah.
players. By the way, he can come in the right. This is opportunity then to make a difference. And I think Eze is giving everyone a boost. Odegaard, if he's not fit for Anfield and Eze comes in, you don't mind that. I know
Mm.
Eze's a really good player, and he might even keep Odegaard out of the squad if he has
Yeah.
it. Imagine he goes and blows away Liverpool. So yeah, that's my thoughts on
Mm.
it. As I said, I don't understand. I just think we just don't get carried away with it, right? Let's
Yeah.
look
Yeah.
at
Yeah. That's a fair point.
Leeds.
Yeah.
We're expected to beat Leeds. Do you know what? I must admit, I give them some credit. I was listening to Gary Neville, and he made a very good point. Championship teams come to the Premier League, and they still try and play from the back, and
Yeah.
we were closing them down. And they didn't know where they was, and they were still
Yeah.
doing it every time they had a goal kick. They was trying to play from the back,
Yeah.
and I just think that we're gonna, yeah. But the defense side of these clubs that come to the Emirates are going to sit in, and we knew that in the match preview. We said that we've
Yeah.
got. I'm hoping that Eze will have that bit of spark, to break these sort of teams down.
Mm.
Um, maybe the fact that Saka is injured, you might see a different style of football. You might
Mm.
see us weaving both wings rather than just having the right side.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's but on the injuries, sorry, I'll let you jump in a minute on your opinion on that. But
No, that's right. Carry on, mate. You carry on.
Saka, Saka and Odegaard, Havertz,
Mm.
Ben White,
Yeah.
Jesus is still recovering. Our injury table's going back up again. Like injury list is going back up. Um, that's our luck. We can't. We've signed all these players. We've got a really strong squad, and we're already. It's like we're already looking thin.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what, what? Arteta's. I think having Eze is really good timing, but at the same time, we we're going to go in light again, aren't we? We're going to
Mm.
spend because I think Saka's going to be out for. I'm not hoping. Touch wood. I hope maybe it's just a strain and not a tear. If he's a tear, he's another 2 or 3 months.
Yeah.
Do you, my question to you, Wayne,
Mm.
if the news comes out tomorrow that Saka's out for again, he's completely it's a type 3, what I call it.
Yeah.
If he's done a full tear, has to have surgery, probably going to be out 2 to 3 months.
Yeah.
Um, do we go back into the market? That's my question to you.
Yeah. Well, there's several things, mate. I'll allude to it, and obviously, I was again, please note, I'm not a transfer guru, but it's just stuff you
Yeah.
hear. Um, there's a couple of people on there saying, don't be surprised if later on, sort of end of the window, we go in for you might be sort of like looking still at like the availability of Watkins at
Mm.
Aston Villa. Now I'm not saying that's happening, Tone.
Yeah.
Really not saying that, but they're interested in like Jackson. You're not going to have two starting. But why I mentioned that is we've just if you sign Gyökeres and you go, okay, you start the season, he's your starting nine, and we have Havertz as backup. Havertz gets injured.
Yeah.
We bring Madueke in, as you've alluded to. We've all spoken about. He's back up for Saka, a winger. Winger on both sides. You don't want him to have to come in. You want Saka to start, and Saka's gone. This is going to happen. You got, and as we've already alluded to, you've just said Jesus, Erdegaard, and White. It's annoying, mate. Honest to God,
Mm.
because there's one thing we were talking about with a guy who's got the season ticket that I obviously go to every now and then, and I was talking to him, and I said to him, it's absolutely brilliant to get Dalman on. 1 year is obviously a like for like. The other substitutions he brought on, he didn't bring on Martinelli.
I noticed that.
Right, so we know, as I said before, there's been interest from Saudi. And you think to yourself, even if it's a minimum of 50 million ton of a bid, you go 50 million upwards, you bite their hand off and say, thanks, Martinelli. But you think right now, can we really afford to? I think the board, as I again said yesterday, that I think with the fact that Eze's come in means that the Cronkies, Josh has gone, because he's in London apparently as well.
He
People
was
saying
at he was at the Grand, by the way.
he's at the Grand, by the
He was
way.
at the Grand.
He greenlit the deal with Eze, said go get him. Is it sort of like one of them? We'll go get him, but we might need to sell someone. Will the club still? We need to sell. In terms of the fact of the spend that we've had, and with no significant outlay, we've got like maybe 10 million we've made, so that's a net spend of 250 still. But this injury to Saka means do you have to reevaluate that? But you can't turn down that money. The only way the club could do it, Tone, is if you offload Nelson, likes of Nelson, Lakonga, Vieira, Sinchenko, and you also go. If you do get rid of Martinelli, could that be something you then have to bring that other player in? Because we're almost back to square one if that happens. So all game I'm thinking Martinelli, after he's not coming on, he's not even started. Is this the end of Martinelli? Saka comes down, whatever the injury is, you'll be thinking to yourself, can we really afford it? But I think there's going to be a sale that is like Martinelli that may need to happen.
Yeah.
We put Eze in. You got Madueke there. You got Saka when he is fully fit, and Trossard. You're not going. Is Martinelli going to get in there now necessarily? And if there's a big bid coming, but yeah, it's one of them. It's one of them, mate. Yeah, I would say if certain players are sold, like say someone said Kivior wants to play first team football. I can't knock him for that. He come in, done a job. He wasn't solely on him. He didn't really put anything wrong that cost us anything. Partey cost us against PSG. It wasn't Kivior, wasn't we wasn't great against PSG, but he wasn't that issue. Do you know what I mean? He's good enough to start somewhere. So you can't blame him for wanting to. We need him, but you can't blame him. So they're saying as well that why I'm saying about Kivior is because they're saying he might look into if he's got to go, and obviously we've got Sinchenko's wages. It's either, like I said to you the other day, if you got to get rid of Kivior, you keep Sinchenko, or if Sinchenko's angling and going, I want to go, you're going to have to bring in, say, a left back or a left centre back. It's one of them. Tone. If the club sell Martinelli with other people, other team, and it gets to transfer deadline day, we've done the business that we need to in selling wise. Sorry, I could see one or two coming in. I mean that because of what I just said. Left back, we're going to need someone. Left back, centre back, especially if them two go at the back, and obviously the others. Yeah, it's gutting really with Saka, mate. Honest to God, like it's bad enough with
I felt,
Havertz. Eze,
bad for him.
Eze was like, cutting yourself, going, you cut yourself and you get that band-aid on or whatever, and it plastered over that, if you know that kind of saying, what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah.
That was like, fuck, that hurt,
Yeah.
and you're like, shit, like, fuck, and then Eze's getting done, and you're like, you're there when you're there, but then today you're here. Mac Gyökeres gets his first goals. Saka scores again. Dalman comes on, but then throughout the game, Ødegaard and Saka, when you're back down to there, like I'm still excited, but you think to yourself, we got a squad, and then all of a sudden that's your resources, you're back to square one. You've got the new signings in, so the depth is brilliant, but you haven't got, you ain't got anyone else challenging because the other player, the first choice player's out. So yeah, frustrating, mate. I would say keep an eye on it. I'm not saying we're going to go mental. All I'm saying is you could see a slightly cheaper deal and more affordable players if we ship what we can, because you could still need it. No one's told us how long Havertz is out.
Yeah.
We'll have to wait for the Saka. As you said as well, and as I've heard as well, Ødegaard doesn't seem to be too sad. Benny White is obviously his body's been playing up for quite a while, so it's obviously could be a recurrence. Hopefully not too long. But yeah, Terence, it's frustrating, mate. Frustrating. I would say that's what I would say. We'll have to if Saka's bad and Havertz is bad.
Yeah.
I think maybe you might have more up top. But again,
do you think
it's all dependent on those?
So I'll sort of rephrase the question on another angle, right? Do you think that Max Diamond, has done enough to be a backup to Madueke? If Saka's out, If Saka's out for say 3 or 4 months, would you say that he's putting too much on the young lad's shoulders by saying, "All right, you can come on half an hour after Madueke on the right hand side until Saka's back"? What do you reckon?
Yeah, you know what, you just literally you have answered the question, and then you've that's exactly my fault, matey.
Do you know what? Sorry to cut you out there.
No, go for it, mate. Go.
What I like about Max Darwin, you have to manage his minutes. You have to make sure he's young, keep his feet on the ground. But what I like about him is he's got no fear. Like I could literally see it because Kirkes is a Liverpool now. He's their left back. If you put him on last 20 minutes, it will just run him. Right?
100%.
And the fact that he's got a penalty in every game that he's played in, pretty much for Arsenal, is because defenders don't know how to handle him.
That left back, you have a clue.
Yeah, the way
not have a clue.
It's really impressive actually how he's 15. The way he shifts his body, on Sky Sports, they were showing you like the runs he was making, and the way he shifts his body, the agility and the balance that he has.
Yeah,
A defender, literally, you can tell, and he's strong as well. He can hold his own against grown men. I was really impressed with him today,
yeah,
and I think if the kid's got no fear, like look at Yamal at Barcelona, he gets the
yeah,
ball,
yeah,
no fear. I think just I I I don't know. I don't unless we sell Martinelli, I don't see us replacing and get another winger. I think we'd have to just look at Max Down when he's there. He's ready to go.
yeah,
Um, I've, why not? Why not? He's only going to get better, right? And with more
yeah.
football, um, yeah,
Yeah, no, I agree. If I can say that as well, I think that's 100%. I think it's just that worry tone. Obviously, being a 15-year-old kiddie, that you don't chuck him in too deep. But I
yeah,
think you have to look at it as well with if we are to be without Saka, he's it's like if we're bringing Eze in and we're not going to be able to see Saka and Eze take to that pitch for a couple of months. God
yeah.
forbid, touch wood.
You
You
mean
know,
Odegaard?
no, Saka, obviously Saka and Eze.
Oh,
Sorry,
yeah, yeah.
in terms of them two playing taking the pitch together,
Oh, okay, yeah,
I mean, obviously Odegaard hopefully will be back. I think you can look at it as well that if you have got Trossard, if we still keep Martinelli, or if it's what people are saying and what we're just guessing. It's guesswork with Arsenal, but you just think, as I said to you, there's journalists that are well respected saying Arsenal are going to look to balance the books. You can only look at Martinelli not coming on today as that. And I think if you've got Trossard on the left or Eze, you've got, and if Odegaard, it happens to be a liar, he still plays. Moreno at an absolute push can go further up if needed. But you'll have one Yeri and Dalman helping out Madueke anyway. So, one year as much as I think obviously centrally is where his game should be, as I've said it, and a lot of people will say the same. If it needs to tone and we need to put Eze in the middle, one year or say one year, it doesn't matter. You have got options. It's just that I feel you need to manage Dalman as much as he should. A game against this when you're 3-4 nil up was we were saying. I was saying to the guy I went with the football today. I said that's the perfect opportunity to do it. To bring him on in this kind of game, no pressure, no nothing. To say obviously, you don't want him. You want him to excel. I mean, you mean Lamal was still doing his GCSEs or the Spanish equivalent and playing football and just ripping men, almost double his age, just tearing them up, And this kiddie has the potential to do that time. Like today, he won that penalty, tore him up.
yeah,
I just think we have to keep our feet on the ground, enjoy him, not overplay him, but bring him enough times to expose him to football, to get the boy stronger, upper body strength, build him up. He's going to have a great future, mate. But I would, I'd much rather if you had Eze in, Saka fit, Madueke fit, Trossard, whatever happens with Martinelli stays or goes. But you could use this kind of game against those lower, in all due respect to them. But if you say you had like a Sunderland tone, and all right, we have got one of our players there that we love, Granit Xhaka, but if we're turning them over 3-4 nil, and you go bring Max Dalman on again, do you know what I mean? That's the kind of thing. Keep giving him the moments
yeah,
where it's not, you're not going to bring him on. Want to bring him on like an Old Trafford and Anfield.
yeah,
I think games like that are his ideal bread and butter. You won't want to go. We need to rely on him as a constant choice. I feel he still need. He definitely needs to be exposed, but not as much at the moment. Like let's let this kiddie develop and let's see what goes on throughout the season. League Cup, the world can be his oyster, but I think we need to try to focus on getting those guys already established in the team playing. This injury list ain't helping its own. You could
no,
if the window closed tomorrow, we'd have to, and we start losing players all the time. It's frustrating. But no, I get what you're saying. I do. I don't think we should rely on
well,
him, obviously, not as much, but he
yeah,
still needs to have that time, that exposure time. You know what I
well,
mean?
we
He's played
haven't,
15, 20 games this year.
yeah, yeah,
You know what I mean?
we haven't mentioned Norgard as well. Norgard's still out, injured as well.
That's a frustrating one, Tony. Yeah, because
So
I thought he would have started in place of Supermendy at Old Trafford. Obviously, if Supermendy having that
yeah,
food poisoning or sickness bug, whatever it was, it's one of the two that I just know the guy wasn't well.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Norgard's out, and I don't think he more than likely won't make the Liverpool game, mate. And
yeah.
it's
It's
you buy this
piling
player
up,
in
isn't
because
it?
he's got Premier League quality,
Yeah,
didn't you?
yeah,
That's what we brought him for. And we've I say you've hit it. We didn't even mention him. He's a new player. We didn't mention him. So that's what Norgard, White, Saka, Odegaard, Havertz, Jesus. We're going to start looking at it, and is it going to get to a point where Mikel's going to go, all right, if you're going to get rid of Martinelli, you can't get rid of a Nelson or a Vieira because Martinelli will bring you more money while Nelson and Vieira won't. You know, it's all sort of what you're thinking. It's a tough one. It's always with this football club where you just like, can we just have something? Can we,
yeah,
City's at it where they can bring everyone on, like Liverpool, Chelsea have got 85,000 registered first team players. You know what I mean? Quite literally. Like, why can't Arsenal Football Club just have start a season, or at least just go through with a season with a minimum amount of injuries? Like seriously, just our luck, mate. It's just
yeah,
in
yeah,
that department. It's frustrating. But I,
yeah,
in closing, with what you said, yeah, obviously the kid needs to be exposed, but we need to hopefully not, reel him in a bit and give him the easier times where he can come on like he did today, tear the left back a new one, and everyone, just let's keep that kiddie on
I
that level.
I would use him. I would. He's got
When
no
they're getting
fear. So
tired, he is just, he's
yeah,
come on, we're 30-odd-year-old men.
yeah,
You're fitter than me, and you're slightly younger than me, but you don't want to be chasing kids around
no,
like.
no, no.
So even if they're
Um,
fully fit Premier League quality players, they're not going to want to be doing that.
yeah. I mean, let's talk about Gyökeres. Off the mark
Yes,
today.
mate, we have not mentioned him yet.
Needed that 2 goals. The first goal was signature Gyökeres
Signature Gyökeres,
down the
100%.
flank. There was a moment where on the replay where the centre back was literally he realised he was 1-on-1 with Gyökeres, and you could
Yeah,
tell he was shit. Right,
yeah,
he's got the ball, stood him up, got inside. Bit of a scruffy finish, but
yeah,
that'll do him the world of good
yeah,
scoring that goal today. And I think all the Arsenal supporters, you could feel it in the stadium when he was getting the ball. It was like, come on, we need you to score, like score some goals.
yeah,
But yeah, I think going into Anfield, he's that little bit of confidence now. He's found the back of the net.
yeah.
Scored a penalty, really good penalty by the way. Finished that really well.
Fantastic, mate.
His overall play. What would you his overall play?
I was discussing this again with the guys who I was with, and I want to put something to you, and obviously those that watch us. And by the way, I'd like to say thanks for watching, and thanks for those that subscribe. Me and Tony appreciate it.
Yeah,
But yeah, Gyökeres today, Tony. I want to say it to you as well, and I'm pretty sure we'll separately when prior to not coming on here, we've got our own chat with a few friends, and we'll let it out there. But I want to say to you that he to me is going to be one of them players where he could frustrate you. He's not quite he gets there. He's trying to flick off. He fouls a flick. He's getting the ball. It's not quite working out, and the defender kicks it away. Then you don't see Gyökeres for 10 minutes. What Gyökeres did today is he's more than capable to do it. I don't care if they're saying they keep saying they've said he's a flat track bully. That is a signature Gyökeres goal. Now, what he does is he can be on the periphery of a game, be quiet as anything, and he'll pounce. Now, could you say that of an Nketiah that we've had lately?
right.
The only one I'd say is one that would he's like Gabby Jesus when he was on it, but it was few and far between really. And I think this guy's a different kind of kettle of fish than Gabby Jesus. Gabby Jesus is kind of a menace, a creator of havoc sort of thing. But this guy can be. What I'm getting at is that this guy can be one of them players that will not do nothing for you for 45 minutes. You get him off at half time, you're around the stadium or you're at home, we're texting each other. What's he done? I want to say, hold that, guys. I want to say to you, hold it, because I think he's going to be one of them that he will do what he done today, get the ball, bang, goal. You won't see Gyökeres for 60 minutes bouncing off of him. He'll have one moment, he'll score. And then he's going to score from the penalty spot anyway. But I think that's what I love about it. You can have a flashy striker. You could have anything like that, but Gyökeres seems to me like that guy. People saying, "Oh, he's touching is not always that great." He's going to have moments where he's going to frustrate the living crap out of you. But I think just everyone just be patient, because I think he's just going to be that guy that he's going to piss you off with his bad touch, and 10 minutes later he's going to do that, or he's going to be in that box in the right place for a cutback, bang, bottom corner. So on that one, I'd say you've got to look at it. There's no less than eight out of 10 for him today, Tone. Personally,
save your rating. We'll do that at the end.
I'll save that, but I just think that is what it is. I mean, it's a penalty. He didn't have many chances, but at one chance done, and you could. I was at the end as well. I'm quite thankful as well. Is the passion of as you said, if you the fans, you can always feel like like in certain places like the Bernabeu or certain ends, or like Anfield, they used to say the Kop end. They used to say the Kop would suck. Come on, score. We haven't got anything like that, of course, but the crowd wanted him to score, Tone. And I did as well. And it was so much relief from him. And you could see him. He's done his signature celebration, and he's just gone, he's lit out this, because the geezer's been getting pelters since Old Trafford. He got pelters prior to being fat. And I think he had a good game. At the end of the day, it is only Leeds. We have to remember that. But I just wanted to put that out there, Tone, a bit of a long-winded way. But just to say, fans out there, ourselves included, I think he's one of them strikers that will just go bang. He's not an Andy Cole. I need 4 or 5 chances to score one. He will score that first opportunity, given it. Get him in the box, get him one-on-one, get him taking the defenders on, create isolation in the box, cut back to Eze, Madueke, Saka hopefully when he's fit, Ødegaard. He'll score. He will score. He'll have his moments, but he will score 8, 9 times out of 10 that once he gets that chance. And I think that's what it is. He's not going to be one of them banging the goal wide, 3, 4 attempts, and you're going, like Havertz, we love him, as we say, but he's not that clinical. This guy is, if he wants, he'll 9 times out of 10, that's the goal. So I was impressed in that sense, Tone. I think there's more to come. I still don't think he's fully fit. Obviously battling away.
We've got 90 minutes under his belt, didn't he? So
he's got the 90 minutes on his belt. He's pivotal now, Tone. Again, because we've lost Gyökeres, Kai Havertz.
Yeah.
So he's pivotal to us, mate. We need him. Stay fit.
Yeah. I think let's sort of close the show out. So we go through the player ratings.
Mate. You start, and I'll.
Yeah, we will start off with the goalkeeper.
Yeah. So
what's your rating for Raya?
Yeah. Not really a foot wrong. I'd say the first, as I say, Leeds didn't offer a lot. I say it's just got to be a solid 7 out of 10. There's nothing much else you can do. I wouldn't drop it any lower than that, because I think he'd done nothing wrong. The only thing is obviously a lot of people, quite a few of the fans. What Raya does, and I'm not going to overly too long, but when he gets the ball by his foot, he rolls it back, and rolls it. Come on, he's trying to engage the striker, so it opens up the pitch a bit more. And there's a few times I hate it when he does, But I think he's just trying to still bait the press.
He's supposed to do that.
So
I think he gets told
again,
to do
he's
that.
not done a foot wrong. Good save. He's been told to do that anyway, Tone. You're 100% right. He pulled off a great save in the first half anyway. Had nothing really to do throughout the match, really. So, solid 7 out of 10. You can't say anything less than that, maybe.
Yeah. Okay. Moving on to left back. We had Calafiori at left back.
Yeah. Again, I'd say the same. Nothing wrong. I love Calafiori. It's a plutonic love. It's a man supporting his team love, but I love the player. I love that type of player. Do you know what I mean? That's what I'm trying to get at, So I'd say a solid 7 out of 10. He didn't do anything wrong. I know it's frustrating in that first half hour, 35 minutes time, but I think he's one of them that he creates spaces. He just comes out. You don't know if he's going to be a left back. You don't know if he's going to be a centre back. He drops in at times. Gabriel shifted out to the left back, I think what I'll do is for Gabriel and Saliba, I think they had nothing to do, and I think for the back line, if that's all right, Tone, I'd say 7 out of 10 for that back line, including Saliba and Gabriel. There's not much they could do. A little
So
bit suspect on that David Raya save. If you ever look back,
yeah.
the defender, I was a little bit concerned, but if you're only giving that away,
Yeah.
But yeah, solid back
So
line.
I would say on the right back position, Timber. I mean, he's got
Yeah,
to get more than
sorry,
a 7, right?
sorry.
I think he's
Thank
got
you for
man of the
flags.
match
Sorry,
performance, 2 goals,
no,
1
sorry.
assist.
I'm apologise,
A bit
guys.
harsh there, Wayne. A bit harsh there. Find a 7 at him as
No,
well.
he's not a
Yeah.
7 out of 10. More than that, Jesus Christ! What a performance. That's got to be 10. You know,
Yeah,
I just think it's a perfect game. He's just, I apologise for that, mate. I don't know, Jesus Christ,
jumped the
but
gun
how
there.
can you forget Timber? That's it.
Yeah,
Close the
no,
show time. Not what
unreal. Yeah, the header for the
unreal
goal was
player,
brilliant.
unreal player.
Yeah,
And he got minutes in his belt, and it was like he's just flawless. And he's when he's fully fit, this guy, he's just crazy good. And that was one of them. He got 2 goals, great goal, great take.
yeah,
Obviously it's a bit of a scramble, but he was alive to it. Great head of the first goal, assist. Just
yeah,
I
yeah.
think
No,
man of the match, definitely.
well deserved. Well deserved from him.
Yeah,
So move on to the left flank. So our friend Madueke. uh,
yeah, you're matey. You
uh,
know what, Tone? Can I? I'll give it to you.
go on.
Um, I'm. I'd like your thing, and if I agree with it or not, I thought he was good, and he was. I think he looked impressive, switching
Do,
to the right. I'll let you crack on with yours. You
do you
take
know
this
what?
one, mate.
I think I think he actually surprised me today. You know, he was tidy, ball control was
Told you.
good. He was running
I
at the
told you.
defenders. You know, he was
Yeah,
offering. You know, I thought he had a fairly good game.
yeah,
I think, as I said, I know one thing I did notice today: the inverted fullback screwed him as well, because there was
yeah,
moments where he was on his own and he had no one to go back
yeah,
to, and
yeah,
it was but yeah, but I felt he carried the ball well,
yeah,
and he was he was doing the stuff that you want your winger to do. You know, he was attacking the fullback, and
yeah.
he took the opportunity to take on a
He just looked
defender
like a
in
winger
that
on the
moment.
left-hand
So
side, Tone, didn't he? He just
yeah,
looked like
no,
an actual winger there, you know?
yeah, I think I'd go to a a 7 or an 8 on the
We
basis
go, I
that
was going to go 7.5.
7.5. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
yeah, let's meet in the middle. I think the reason why I've gone above a 7 is because he jumped on the right and done a good job as well before
I
he
think
come
there's a
off. So
lot of potential there,
yeah,
Tony.
I
He's, as I
I
said,
think I think he showed a few Arsenal fans today, including myself, that he can do a job when
yeah,
given the chance. I think it's for me it will be like the consistency. That's what I'll be looking for
yeah,
from him. But yeah, 7.5. Let's go
yeah,
with that. On the
yeah,
right hand side, we had obviously Saka before he got
yeah,
his injury. What are you going with, Wayne?
yeah. Again, you know what? I'd say the goal. I think the goal elevates him to 7.5 because again, it's. I mean, keeper you can question some of his thing, but it's a typical Saka finish, and we're just chuffed with him at the stadium. There's a lot of love always for Saka. I think as well. You can give Chuck every superlative at the kid sometimes when he's on it.
Yeah,
He looked a bit. There's certain moments in the game, but again with Saka, he'll turn it on. And I think obviously again it's going to be a worry. For let's keep our fingers crossed. It's not a massive
yeah,
injury time.
yeah.
Excuse me, because we need that player, mate. Definitely, we need
So,
we need that Saka.
so
When
what
it
are you giving
comes
him
down to it.
then?
So 7.5 for Saka. I
Yeah,
think he would have got a bit more.
I would go with an 8. And the reason why I'd go with an 8 is because
Yeah,
that finish was on his right foot. You know, that was
he's weaker foot. Yeah,
his
no,
weaker
yeah,
foot. And
yeah,
if you I looked at the replay a few times and even the highlights, and the keeper couldn't even move. It went literally past him before he
yeah.
put his hands up.
He's
With your
different. He's
weaker
different
foot,
class when he's on it. So 100.
he's got to be one of the best in the
Yeah,
world right now. So
yeah,
I'll give him an 8. I think purely
yeah.
because
Fair dues. Yeah,
I
no.
reckon if he didn't get injured, he was still on that pitch. I reckon he would have got a second.
That's what I'm saying. It would have been a 9-10 in the
So
second half.
yeah,
He'd
I think
thrown into it.
eight's a good number. I think. Uh,
Yeah,
into midfield, how did Zubimendi get on for you?
yeah. Can I rate them together with Rice?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, I'd say both of them. Tone for me would be a 7.5,
Yeah,
and I think why because I
you're
just think
liking 7.5 tonight, aren't you?
yeah, I think it's just a fair one. I think in terms of
Yeah,
obviously goal scoring and stuff, Timber elevates and he's man of the match for his finishes. I say 7.5 because I think you didn't have much of a challenge in terms of what Leeds gave today. But what
Yeah.
these two do is what you'll see, and why I think he's such a better fit than a Rice Partey kind of midfield, is because Subamendi, if he needs to, he drops into the centre half if centre back position receives the ball. Rice goes to left eight. If he
Yeah.
wants to go forward, drags the ball. There's times when he went through the midfield a few times. Subamendi, you've got the engine of Rice. You've got the intelligent ball carrying skills of this guy. He can play left foot, right foot. I think they're brilliant. I think I want to keep them at that both rating because I just think they
Yeah.
just keep ticking over. We need these guys to have a worldie against Liverpool because I think that's where you can get them.
Yeah.
I don't rate Liverpool's defence, and I think their midfield. They haven't got a world class number six. These two need to control and get this midfield, but they just kept it ticking along. They cover each other well, and I think they just deserve the same rating because I think it's going to be a great partnership. Keep them fit, keep them throughout most of the season, Tone, and we are going to do very well with them as our main two in midfield. If they
Yeah.
keep it on,
Yeah. Moving on to Odegaard. How do you think he got on? Boy's injury.
yeah, you know what, mate, I think as well. It was quite one of those games, and you got talking to the guy next to you. I went with, and you're watching the game, and it was very sort of like it was back and forth, back and forth. Can't go any forward, so we're going to go to Saliba. Saliba's going to knock it back to Raya. He's going to get closed down. Raya switches it right. Saliba moves through. You clap. You carry on going. It's one of them at the start of like half hour. Good play, but we're like, what are we doing? What I could say, I would say, you just have to have it. This is no disrespect to him. I think because he's injured, maybe you should have like a 6.5 because I don't think you can rate him poorly. I don't think you can rate him highly because I don't think he was on the pitch enough to open
Yeah.
up them spaces.
Yeah.
It's again, obviously, he's fundamental to us our pressing game.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think obviously just keep it at that as an average rating. Because personally, watching him through the game, I wasn't. It's usual stuff, but I've got to say to you, mate, in all honesty, I can't my recollection is obviously seeing Wanyeri on and whatever. That first half hour was just us sort of like regurgitating the ball left and right again in the horseshoe where a guy directly behind me is going, "Kin horseshoe again. Here's the horseshoe. Oh, here we So it was frustrating a lot
Yeah.
of people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Odegaard. I just think obviously he wasn't on long enough being poor. It's just the fact that I don't think that injury played on him, and I think he played on. He just something was wrong, sort of thing. So it's not to be a harsh rating tone, just one that meant he didn't quite get into the game quick enough, for the period he was on to get that higher rating.
No, that's fair. And then obviously on to Gyökeres.
Absolute rubbish, that bloke. Honestly,
That's-
turn off the feed. Would you say? I would say. I said eight. I said eight earlier. I would still. I don't know if I'm being too harsh in 8.5 tone. I keep doing halves with people.
Hmm.
I just think like we have to keep ourselves on the ground a lot. But I just think, as I say, that chance when he's up against the defender, he just keeps the ball to it's the ball. Like Lacazette used to do it as well, didn't it? Like he used to somehow keep the ball at his feet and bang it into the net. I
Yeah.
think Gyökeres will be a little bit more obviously clinical, but yeah, he done that. He took the customary penalty well. He's still certain things about the game that he needs to kind of get in. He needs people closer to him. He was trying to flick it on, but I'd say 8 out of 10, 8 out of 10
Yeah.
because I don't think it's overly harsh.
Yeah.
Keep it on a fairer rating and say, look, you can't. You can say the dopamine level, as they call it, that dopamine hit of him scoring, and we've got two, celebrations like that, and you could tell the passion. I think we'll keep it an 8 out of 10. I think that's what we want to see.
I agree. Yeah.
That's what we want to see from him. I think he's giving me his chance. Tony will bang. That's all we got to do. Be patient throughout the game.
No, I agree. Happy with an 8.5. Moving on to the subs. So we had who was the first? So we
We lost early guard, so Wanyeri was the first
When
on.
Yeri was the first. Well, my
Yeah,
mind went blank. And yeah, when Yeri. So let's start. He had a good sort of. He had a full whole sort of second half, didn't he? So
he plays it differently, that number 10 than early guard, and I would say someone was being harsh, but I think in terms of he's turning over the ball, always probing, always looking, and number 10 is his role. I'd say 7.5.
yeah,
Again, I'm sorry, but I'm just what it is. It's that in between of 7 and 8. So I would say 7.5 because I think you're an assist or a goal away from your rating going up 8 and 8, 8.5. But
I mean,
I thought he was solid and
yeah,
added that extra like Rice and Supermendi. And I think the quality kind of shone through today. So 7.5 for me, Bones.
okay. Uh, we had Trossard who coming on the left.
Yeah, I'm going to be harsh, and this is not because I dislike Trossard and think he should have been sold instead of Martinelli. It's not what I think at all. I like the clutch player. Today he struggled.
Yeah,
If I could be harsh with that rating, I'd say 6 out of 10.
yeah,
I was quite pleased to hear there was a lot of obviously chanting. I chanted myself, Leo. I've got a lot of time for Trossard. I just think I think that his injury or whatever happened in pre-season, maybe the fact that he could have been looking to go out the door, and then Mikel or whoever said we've just lost Havertz. Here's your pay rise. We need
yeah,
you to stay. Maybe it's that bit of that. But I think he didn't come on and set the world alight. But I think you give that kind of player a time. He's a great finisher. He's one of the best of the club. We got Gyökeres in him, and there's other players again like Eze. So I'm not being overly harsh. I thought he struggled. So it's
yeah,
not me being harsh. I'm just saying it looked like he did struggle to beat players and do what we need him to do. So I say it's just a bang average, really. A 6 out of 10.
yeah. Mascara.
Yeah, not I wouldn't say massively on longer than the rate. I say 6.5.
Yeah, that's fair.
6.5. Not because he didn't put a foot wrong.
Yeah,
He at right back, he's obviously just come on, done what he had to do. And I think this kid's he's gonna prove to be an absolute bargain time.
yeah,
We've got to give him enough game time, though, matey. But he's going to be an absolute bargain.
yeah. And then MLS come on at left back.
Yeah, again, I'd say the same rating.
Yeah. I think
Again, it's
he gave the ball away a few times for me.
yeah,
I think his decision making was. I know it was 4-0 up, but I feel like there
yeah,
was a few times where he tried driving forward with the ball and it wasn't the right
yeah.
time to do it, and the ball got nicked off him a few
Yes,
times. So
exactly. We,
that
we we had a lot of turnovers. There's a lot of turnovers I noticed in the midfield tone. Leeds weren't good enough to capitalise. It seemed like we'd lose it, and then the ball would ricochet. A Leeds player would get it. They couldn't quite. Leeds wasn't great, but our turnovers were good. Subamendi done a tackle where he seemed like he tackled like 5 seconds before the ball got to him, but he was down on the floor, bang. But yeah, MLS, yeah, I'd say it's just the same. It's tough on the lad because he's got to realise as well. You've got to fight on your hands for left back. You've got to fight on your. I mean, obviously he's a midfielder, but
yeah,
Mikel likes him as inverted, so we have to consider him as a left back. He's got to fight, I think, with Calafiori. But I think he's got to play. And some days I think you can always play him, Tone, as well, and start him instead of Calafiori to kind of maximise the minutes and keep him sort of like fresh and because we need him, we need Calafiori fit. But at the moment, I think Calafiori gets the nod. But the boy's got to crack on. Don't let
yeah,
anything get to your head. You're an Arsenal boy. You've got a long-term contract. You're loved by the fans for what you did against Haaland and whatever. We love you for it.
yeah,
We know you're an Arsenal boy. Just keep your head, clear. You've got a good future, sort of thing. But
yeah.
yeah, I think it's just a 6.5, mate. Eve, like saying we must get
Fine. Yeah, and best of last, Max Darwin.
Jesus Christ, it's got to be 7.5 and 8 tone, isn't it?
I'd
Just for the
yeah, I
cameo
think
alone.
I'd give him an 8,
Yeah.
purely because he
I just think in terms
won
of
the
his
penalty.
fearlessness, Tone. Do you?
Yeah,
I likened it, and I'm pretty sure you may agree with me. And we were there. It was actually one of the first kind of games at the Emirates. He'd already obviously made his debut for us, but we used to. Whenever Theo Walcott come on, you kind of thought this boy is still an unknown. He's like 16. He's still got an unknown quantities. Whatever ceiling he's going to hit. Whatever happened with Theo, that excitement level when Theo first come on the scene. I'd liken it with this kid, but I think this kid's level you don't know again. But you just think he's got something different. Now Theo would take him on with pace, but this kid's like this tricky. left winger that you're just like, I don't want to play against. You would
Mm.
not want to play against him. And I think
Yeah,
I think the eight winning the penalty, coming on with his fearlessness. I think there's a lot of players who would, as we say, is at the 7.5. I just think he deserves that for having the bravery. You know what I mean? When a
yeah.
15-year-old kiddie lifts the Emirates crowd, as much as
I,
Eze signing
yeah.
Gyökeres, he lifted the crowd
I
as
was just going to
well.
say that there was a bit of a
Three, 4 nil.
buzz in the stadium when he come on.
The buzz on the North Bank was brilliant, matey. But yeah, it's good to see, and I think he deserves that as well. He's got that thing where it's that upper body strength. I say the same with Wanyeri. I didn't say. Wanyeri's upper body strength is where I think is his weakness at the moment. This kid's 15 years old. He's six
Yeah,
foot. He's 6 foot tone, but it's just that
yeah,
upper body strength. But yeah, I think that's as your debut in the Premier League goes, as being as young as 15, mate. You don't get much better than that and winning a penalty. You know,
yeah,
at least you've
yeah,
got something to say. What was you doing in your summer before you start your GCSEs? I
yeah,
won a penalty for Arsenal.
yeah,
So, yeah,
yeah.
good play to the young lad. He's going to be. Let's keep. We've already had a chat about it in time, but yeah, I think he deserves that rating just for great cameo, mate.
Cool. We'll wrap it up there.
Yeah,
Good game. 5-0. Sorry.
yeah,
Good. Got some goals on the score sheet. Hopefully, we can carry that into Anfield. Um, Thank you for watching. One thing we'll say, we started this podcast a week ago, and the support's been unbelievable. So, yeah, keep it coming, and we really do appreciate it. Like and subscribe this video. Leave some comments in the box. What are your ratings? Who do you think stood out for you?
yeah. If you
Um,
agree with us, let us know.
cool. And we hopefully when we get the news on the injuries, we'll jump on our podcast and we'll talk through it. But other than that, we'll see you on the other side. Thank you for watching. Take care.
Cheers, guys. Take care.